Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your Sunday evening viewing. It is the 72 review, episode 64, and I'm joined by a few familiar faces. Jake's back this week, replaced Worko, who did a very good job last week. Lee's still feeling a little under the weather, so hopefully he will be back on it next week. So you've got us three this weekend talking through the EFL action from this past weekend just gone. If you are new to the show, get your comments in. It does drive conversation, but we just go through all three EFL divisions, Championship, League One, League Two today, and we talk about our teams, which is Doncaster, Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham, and then we talk about a few other games that pique our interest. So going around the screen
as well when we feel like it, because I feel like this show could be one of them that does a tangent, because there've been things this weekend that have been a bit sus on it.
Yeah, we do like a tangent every now and then. But going around the screen, I will start with Punk Chef. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
I am Punk Chef 41. I am a Sheffield Wednesday fan. I've done this since 2012 season, and I've just carried it on, really. I enjoy doing it. For me, it's a really good way of just getting my thoughts out, because I'm highly dyslexic, and if you read anything I write to people question it anyway. I also co-host the Talking Wednesday podcast with me, Dexterity Box James, and Worko Jack, and we talk everything Wednesday. But to keep growing the channel, keep doing it. It's a rarity. This is I think the second Sunday in about 3 years. Didn't a video on my channel today, so
steady Sunday for you.
I've had a little bit of a time off because my other half went, "Oh, she got a birthday party at like 1 o'clock." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take the tiny one that." He stinks. I'm not gonna lie, his farts are toxic.
Oh God! Oh, that's a good way to start the show, isn't it?
Yeah. Anybody who's considering parenting,
don't
have a chat with Jake. And below us is Ian, who does videos for Over the Bar. Let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
I love football. That's why I do it. I'm Ian. I'm a 62-year-old Rotherham season ticket holder, suffering badly this season, unfortunately. But when the Millers are away, I vlog for the Over the Bar YouTube channel, which is mainly Leagues 1 and 2.
And it is good stuff. Your most recent video?
I like it. I like the style.
Mansfield were last Saturday with my latest video. But I've got two coming up. I've got Rovers against Crew next Saturday at the Eco Power.
Are you a good luck charm or not?
Sorry?
Are you a good luck charm or not?
Well, the last time I went to the Eco Power, they beat Sutton 4-1. It was when your stag do were there.
Yes.
Do you remember that, Dan?
Yeah, it was a good game. I do actually remember my stag do. It was a good one.
Oh, you remember it? Yeah. And I've got another one coming up at the end of the month. I'm going to Morecambe against Gills. Morecambe against Gillingham.
I will say your new style of the way you're doing it, it is, like Dapper said in our group chat, it reminds me of my grandparents when I used to like sit and watch football, and you just have them talking to you about stuff in the game, and it's really nice flashbacks of like childhood for me.
Proper nostalgic. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment, guys. Thank you. It's not just because I'm an old dumb.
Certainly is.
No, it definitely is a compliment.
Yeah, thank you.
Neil said, "Let's hope that you're Donny's equivalent of Lee to us at Bradford, and hopefully you are. Lee's very good at.
Could we do a GoFundMe?
I'm actually hoping. I'm hoping it did. Yes, it got 2,146. I think.
Well done.
Views, which I'm very pleased with. I'm hoping to get to Valley Parade before the end of the season as well.
Well, if you go, Ian, make sure you take some grass seed with you. You need it for this pitch.
Oh,
I'm sure Neil will be happy mentioning about the pitch. Right, let's get into this one then. So I think the only place to start is a Yorkshire derby, which Jake, you were on the winning side of. But before that, we will first bring this up. Ian, you met Finlay.
I met Finlay and his family, and it was a pleasure to do so. What a lovely little lad Finlay is. And his family are great as well, and I'm sure that they enjoyed the day yesterday. It was certainly an honour and a privilege to meet him. And I said I'd put the photos up. I promised Finley, so that's job done. Then Finley, I've done that for you. And it was, like I said, it was a pleasure to meet them.
Yeah, he's a regular viewer and commenter on the channel, so we appreciate his support on the channel, and I think he probably enjoyed meeting you, Ian, and by the sounds of it, you enjoyed meeting him too.
I'll tell you one little funny thing. He didn't recognise me without my glasses on, which I thought were hilarious.
It's like an opposite disguise.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
I agree with what Neil said.
Yeah, I agree with that. He is a star of the show for sure. So, from one positive thing for Ian, we'll go on to the negative, and that was the 90 minutes of football. I think we'll start with you, Ian, and then we'll get Jake's side of the story afterwards, and hopefully improve the mood of the show.
I mean, I've been supporting Rotherham for 50 plus years, and I've had lower ebbs than this, but they've been a long, long time ago. The old adage, the wheels have come off, is appropriate here. I mean, before Christmas, we were having some decent results. We've had some defeats, but narrow defeats, and we've shown a bit of fighting commitment. But all that seems to have gone by the wayside. I mean, we handed the game to Wednesday on a plate, really. I mean, there were only ever one team in it. Although I will give Wednesday credit, they played very well. But having said that, we could make Maltby Main look like Barcelona at the moment, because we are that bad. There's just no drive, there's no commitment, there's no heart, there's definitely no quality. But I don't know. We have got players in that team that have to start because of the injury situation, which I don't believe for 10 seconds. I think a lot of our squad feign injury to avoid being out there. The players that do start, they're just picking up a wage basically until the summer, because I think we should release at least about 13 of our 25-man squad need to go at the earliest possible opportunity. In the summer, we thought we'd go with experience, especially in defence. So we picked up Grant Hall on a free. We picked up Daniel Ayala. We picked up Sean Morrison. To be quite honest with you, they're just pinching a wage. Morrison's decent when he comes on, but he don't play very often. And also, we've got some more 30-somethings in there, like Shane Ferguson, Lee Peltier. They're just not. Well, I wouldn't say they're not championship standard. I'd say they're not EFL standard. That's how poor they are. I mean, we've got Jordan Hugels pinching a wage. That he just spends half an hour of every game eating grass trying to get free kicks. It's just absolutely times. Yeah, I mean, we call him the grass eater because he's just on the floor all the flaming time.
So is he going to Forest Green in the summer then?
Possibly, but yeah, I just can't. I said on the chat before we went on air, I just can't really see us picking up another point. I just can't. I just think we're just fodder for the opposing teams. I mean, this coming week we've got Coventry away on Tuesday, we've got Norwich away on Saturday. That's two absolutely nailed on defeats. Yeah. We just don't look a threat going forward. If we had 51% possession against Wednesday, but what good's possession when you're passing it around the back four? It's just awful. It really is painful to watch. But like I said, Wednesday won and they won well. In truth, it was a 1-0 massacre.
Yeah, it should have been a lot
for me,
more.
From like the outside looking in, I don't follow either of your teams. I think you must be so disappointed in the fact that for the last two games this season against Sheffield Wednesday, local rival, there should be that.
Never turned up. We never turned up.
There should be that energy. You shouldn't need to hope that your team's up for it. It should be a
It should
given.
be ingrained in them.
Yeah,
There's just no motivation there. You should.
It should be blood and thunder, shouldn't it?
I think you're missing some big characters that you'd had in your past season.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a Michael Smith, like a Nick Wood.
Like a Richard Wood, actually.
Like a Richard
Wood.
Yeah, you're missing. You're just missing those kind of people who would like. For me, it just felt like watching it. They were just going through the motions. It's like, all right, we're 1-0 down, and what shall we do next? Normally, you have the situation where you can see a team pick players up, go, come on. Every time when they had the ball off, it went out for throw. You could see like either Barry Bannon or Will Vokes to the way end, just going, come on. There was none of that. Like, get them going.
I mean, the thing is, we got taunted by the Wednesday fans, like football in a library. You've got to give the fans something to cheer
about. Yeah.
If they're watching that dirge week in, week out, how can you get up for that as a supporter? You just can't.
No.
And another thing that disappointed me were Liam Richardson's post-match interview, where he said, well, the fight and the heart were there for all to see. Well, you must have been watching a different game. They were absolutely awful.
Also, I've got a bone to pick with him. No one likes it when no one called Manchester. They don't go Manchester. They go Manchester City. They go Manchester United. Saying Sheffield dug my sodding head in.
Yes, it's disrespectful.
My head in. It's like, just say Sheffield Wednesday or just say Wednesday.
Yeah, it's disrespectful in my view. Yeah.
You wouldn't do it to Man United or Man City.
You wouldn't.
Don't do it to Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday. It's something that really a lot of Wednesday fans picked up on in the interview. It's just like, it just comes across as just being a bit naff and not respectful.
That's probably the only thing ever to unite Wednesday and United fans. The fact that they don't want to be called Sheffield.
No. Because funny when that happened, because you see Sheffield FC going, oh, we played in the Premier League today.
Can I just interject for just a moment? Right. Yesterday, after the game, I collected this, which is a signed Sheffield Wednesday sheet with 22 players, the manager and Chris Powell on it. And whoever bids on this, I'll give the proceeds to the Eves Trust.
Oh, lovely. Good stuff.
So that what I'll do is I'll post it to Dan, and he can distribute it wherever.
We'll get it shared on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. It's all it's on cardback paper, and it's got the club badge, EFL Championship, and 2023-24 season on, and it's hand signed by 22 members of the Wednesday staff, and I'd love that to achieve a good total to go to the Eves Trust.
Oh, lovely stuff, Ian. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will get that sorted.
My pleasure.
Jake, on to Chef Wednesday. So Ian's give a pretty damning assessment to Rotherham's season and yesterday as a whole. Hope. I think that's
we got hope.
That's the word at the minute, isn't it?
The problem is every time we get hope, every other sodding team around us decide to go on a good situation. We'll have a look at the table later because it's insane. I have not seen a championship table this tight, I don't think, ever, where from about mid-table could get dragged into a relegation scrap. What?
Yeah, but that's good. That's good, though.
It's good, but I can see Wednesday having that situation where we could be ruining chances such as the Huddersfield game, not taking it there, and then the bad start to the season and just having to make... I don't want it to go to the last game of the season at Sunderland. I want it to be two games and we're already clear. At the rate we're going, we can be.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the good thing from Wednesday's point of view is there's so many other clubs now that they can catch.
Yeah. Danny Rule basically called Sheffield Wednesday in a interview with the hunters now. We're hunting.
Yeah.
We're hunting any team we can. And we should have been 4-0 up at half time. We just didn't take our chances.
I'd agree there.
I don't know why that Femero goal never got given. He's miles onside.
Yeah.
He's
And
absolutely...
I couldn't see a foul either.
No. And none of the Rotherham players appealed.
No.
Like, normally, they're onside. They appeal. They just didn't appeal. It was baffling. Ugbo had that really good chance, and it was a cracking block by your defender to just get there. I don't think he knew too much about it. And you just look at the way we played in that first half. I had the thing at halftime, like I had it in my head that we're going to rue these missed opportunities, and it was going to come back and bite us on the backside.
Yeah.
But second
we only
half,
had the one chance, though, didn't we? We only had the one chance. That was the Lee Peltier shot that was played up the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. If that had gone in, who knows?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where I got the situation where I was worried going into this game because I know what Wednesday like at these games at times. We sometimes blow them. But second half, he made some good substitutions, and I offer with that assist for the goal. And it was a very well taken goal.
Yeah,
it was well taken. It was well made. It was really well made as well. And
it was badly defended.
You should have at least had somebody standing for it. Like in the first half, Will Vogt nearly scored a cracking free kick. If it wasn't for Johansson, it would have gone in because it was just smart. The nice thing about Wednesdays, for about 10 minutes in the second half, Rotherham more the ball. It got scrappy. When games go scrappy, Wednesday struggle because we're not that good at being the scrappy team. But you start looking at Barry Bannon. Barry Bannon isn't running around like a madman at the minute because he's one card away from suspension. But that's good because it's showing that he's got another part to his game that people haven't seen before. That he can.
It was still as effective. It was still as effective.
Yeah, just a bit more controlled.
Yeah, and I think if that second had gone in right at the end where it hit the post, it
would have been fair.
It would have been fair, yeah. I think we should have really. If you got 17 shots and 4 on target, you need to do a bit better with the shooting boots because you want that at least in double figures. But we're making chances. Ugbo, what is it? I think it's 6 in 8 now, or something daft like that. It's something mental. He's now our top goal scorer on 6 goals.
Yeah, came in January.
Yeah, that tells you how bad we've been up top. Yeah. But you look at that Pervader as well. Pervader been absolutely fantastic. People likened him a little bit to Fortieri. And I do see that comparison. Small, nimble, did quite well. I thought the reaction that Icky Smith and Volk got from Rotherham, I understand it's a derby, but any reason? They were a good servant for you? They did well?
Yeah, I think, there's only one reason, isn't there? It's because they're signed for Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. I mean, and I think Volks's booing were unfair because he didn't come straight to Hillsborough from us. He went via Cardiff.
Apparently, he nearly did, actually.
But he went via Cardiff, didn't he? He had a couple of years at Cardiff. Yeah.
But you know
That's
what?
Some detour, innit?
We got all 3 points, and it's what we needed to keep going.
Yeah.
Because it was those games where you look at it, if we didn't get that, you would have gone, is that going to go for us now?
Especially with results around you as well, which we'll move on to, I think.
Into that, yeah.
Yeah, you touched on it before talking about the game that Wednesday have gone on a run, and unfortunately teams around you have also picked points up. And I think for me,
QPR.
some of the more unexpected, that's the one. Expected. I'm good at English.
Look at the stats.
Unexpected results. QPR going to the tabletop in Leicester. And
again, though, how is someone who got a conviction on his record able to play? I don't understand this.
He played against us last week.
I don't get it. I don't understand
it. It being in a different country, isn't it?
It is. It's got an appeal. But surely the EFL should be like, well, you've got a conviction. You've got to come back once it's all sorted.
Yeah. Does it depend on which club you play for?
When they got a minute, we're linked with Nico Schultz, he just got either left back, used to play for Dortmund, was in the German national team, but he hasn't been convicted, but it's something to do with his girlfriend and abuse. And a lot of people don't want it anywhere near the club. I understand it. I get it. But I'm not going to get into it. My thoughts are if it's on a football basis, you sign him on a behind the scenes stuff. It is what it is. Footballers have got this whole thing. You can't touch them, whatever. But QPR are picking up results. And I think this is the thing. If you have a player who's playing like he is doing, and don't get me wrong, he's been playing really good this season. If he didn't have the conviction, I don't think anyone would be saying anything.
No.
Because that's now been there. But QPR were just clinical when they had the chances. And that's the difference in them at the minute.
Two on target, 2 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's superb, isn't it? I mean, It looks like from the stats, it looks like a typical smash and grab, doesn't it? Because Leicester, as you would expect, 18 shots, 5 on target. It was just a Cooten buster. That was incredible.
It's interesting looking at the top though. A lot of the top clubs are suddenly having mini dips.
Yeah, a little wobbles, aren't they?
It's like the top clubs need the international break more, and the clubs in the bottom who you would think would want it are going to be like, no, we don't want it. We want to keep going.
Yeah, it could end up halting momentum down at the bottom, couldn't it? Claxon, please, Jake. Ben Nelson was on loan at Donny last season.
So it worked because I am currently using a smaller version of my machine. As Dan and Ian know, it's quite big, the other one. This is what I'm dealing with at the minute. So hopefully this works. Hey, there we go.
It was great to see him score. I thought he looked a decent player last season in a poor Donny team. For his age, very young, he looked assured on the ball. So it's nice to see him breaking into the Leicester team.
Yeah,
nice to see him get on the score
He'll have benefited with the experience he had at Donny. The EFL
he had to defend a lot.
I think it helps actually, really, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Yeah.
The amount of defending you have to do at Donny is pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Other positive results for teams in and around you, Jake.
Huddersfield were really. I watched this, and Huddersfield put a good show of this. They really look good,
especially spending the entire second half with 10 men.
Yeah,
and they're still. Oh, that's sending off.
Yeah.
Oh, that was as blatant as you could get, weren't it? Blatant elbow.
Yeah. I think the thing is, Leeds huffed and puffed and just couldn't get it over the line, and they were going for it in the end. I know, I've seen that. But again, look at the top again. Everyone faltered. Ipswich has suddenly snuck up again.
Yeah, back in there, aren't they?
They weren't there. And look where Southampton are.
5 straight wins.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Talking about Hogg's red card, I think that's kind of what was missing for Rotherham, Ian. I know you don't want to see it, but just something.
A bit of grit. Yeah.
Yeah, just a challenge, something a bit shithousery. It gets the fans going, doesn't it?
Something in
it. That's half our trouble. We're too passive. I mean, there were that run in the first half. I can't remember who it was. Wednesday player took it from the halfway line and ran straight into the heart of our area and challenge.
Gatherman.
Yeah, nobody got a challenge it.
He gained all of you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think we're too passive
because it sounded like Schumacher was about to get sacked.
Yeah.
And I still think he's going to get sacked.
The pressure's
good
on,
win for Stoke, though. Very good win. Although Borough are very hot and cold, they can put some really good results out, and then they lost. I mean, they're the only Championship side that's not beaten us in 2 games this season. They've only got the 1 point. They didn't score against us. But yeah, fantastic result for Stoke. And I like that Lewis Baker. He's a good player, good midfielder. Lovely goal as well. Lovely goal.
You've got some love in the chat in. I don't know if you've seen it. Looks very handsome in that beautiful unbeaten in 10 shirt. So Ian's donning a Lincoln shirt at the minute. So Sue's happy, unbeaten in 10. We will move on to League One shortly.
Middlesbrough poor, and they again, and it's another team that's sliding into that thing. When you look at the table later, you're going to see it and go, "That's insane."
Yeah, it is. Another team, Jake, in and around you that you were hoping to drop points was Millwall.
Neil, I had a funny feeling when the Messiah came back to Millwall. I had a funny feeling this was going to happen. Because
I do think they're lacking quality, though.
He's good at what he does, and he's Millwall through and through.
Yeah, he is.
I think that's just what they needed.
Isn't he the record ever goal scorer at Millwall?
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah.
What is going on at Watford? Because they look naff. Last couple of games, they just don't seem to be able to. They don't look. If you're a Watford fan at minute, it's not entertaining. It's not entertaining.
No.
Yeah. 4 defeats in 5. Oof.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
It's a bit ropey, that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, obviously, teams dropping points towards the bottom of the table, towards the top of the table, teams picking up points at the bottom of the table. It went the opposite way for Ipswich. I'll bring some of the comments that ATID brought in.
ATID is not a happy man at all.
He is not.
He's
saying that we've gone from scoring for fun and having home park as a fortress to respecting the opposition. A little bit like what Rotherham are doing. A bit too much. Teams here who come here. Whitaker's gone from a £20 million asset to Rebo West under this fraud.
Oh, that's a bit strong.
Yeah, beating a Borough side with 9 injuries and who lost to a Stoke team, covered some deep cracks. Love Hallett, but he's got this absolutely catastrophically wrong. He's saying Wednesday will take us easily. Foster he's a one-dimensional PE teacher, and is put it that way because it is a family-friendly show. We do swear a little bit, but we try to keep it as family-friendly as possible. ATID not happy, and it's one of those where, like he says, probably just gave a bit too much respect to Ipswich, and they enjoyed it.
I was speaking to a couple of Plymouth fans I know, and they are in the same boat as ATID. They are worried they're going to get dragged into it, like properly dragged into it. And the problem is, you look at the table, anyone from about mid-table could get dragged in.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, what a loan signing Kiefer Moore's been for Ipswich.
Yeah. We always knew he was going to be.
Yeah. I like Kiefer Moore. He's your typical old-fashioned blood and guts centre forward that just puts his head in everything. You know, he doesn't.
That's for Plymouth's manager, I believe. Not none of us. I hope none of us, Lewis.
Oh, I hope not.
ATID just. I love when ATID is in the chat because he just lets everything out how he's feeling, and it just made me laugh.
But this is a space to do that. It's a safe space for any fan of any club to have your say on your club. And if I see it in the chat,
I will say about your club, now, we'll ATID. You are the ones that decided to hire another one.
Yeah.
You should have learned your lesson from the first 2.
Yeah, the love of Scouts rat.
Oh no, he's not. He's not making friends and influencing people, is it? Mind you, I must admit, I mean, we're having the same with our fan base as regards Liam Richardson at the moment. I don't think they're cutting him enough slack because he inherited a dispirited squad from Matt Taylor, and he's not been able yet to alter the mindset of the players. You know, the negative mindset, and I think the only way he's going to do that. I think the only way he's going to do that is a massive squad rebuild in the summer.
The problem is Tony Stewart didn't look happy, and I don't know how much Tony Stewart is ready to. He gives managers chances, but I think he's getting to the point where he's not had to do a manager situation for a very long time. This is all a little bit new for him. And after that sounds, this is all new for him and new ground. And I don't know if he got the time and patience to give someone a chance to build like he had done in the past.
I hope he does. Because I think Richardson can do a good job. But I think he needs time, and I think he needs time to assemble his new squad to get rid of the old guard, if you like,
Yeah.
and get some young, hungry players that are wanting to fight for the badge.
I think that's the key sometimes in football, isn't it? Having a bit of patience, but ultimately it's a results game. Yeah. Okay.
I'm surprised. You were talking about Watford. I'm surprised he's still there.
Give it
the manager.
Give it a week. Give it the international break. He'll probably be gone.
Yeah.
Zola will come back into football again.
ATID just pops in the chat saying, honestly, we're down if we don't get 6 points against Blackburn on Wednesday. We were saying just before we came live, I think the Plymouth Wednesday game, I see it as similar to the Donny Sutton game, where I felt if we didn't get something from that game, then we were staring down the barrel of relegation. I think it probably is that important in terms of not necessarily the points gap, but more the kind of mental impact that a defeat to Sheffield Wednesday could end up having. So yeah, I think it is vital that
look at how many teams are on the same points down there.
It's mad, isn't it?
They're on the same points, identical. Like you go from QPR down to Stoke, they're all on 38. You go from Millwall to Blackburn, 39. There's a little bit of a gap at Watford to 44, but Watford are nowhere near. If they keep doing what they're doing, they'll get dragged into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Swansea aren't safe either.
No. You're safe on 12th place. Anyone could get into that bottom three.
I'd agree. I mean, there's a lot of traffic between them, but runs like this are not helping their cause for staying in the division, are they? They could easily get dragged into it.
You know what's mental? I'm now looking at it. I haven't realised how good a run Wednesday and QPR were on until looking at that. And that's insane. I think they're both 4th and 6th in the form guide.
Yeah.
The only thing we've got is when our run went a bit bad at Christmas, it's when we played 1st and 2nd in the form guide. We potentially got that coming up with Leeds and Ipswich, but Leeds having a drop helps.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Although it's not much
at the top of the table.
I mean, 10 wins and a draw out of the last 11 games, Leeds. It's not that much of a drop, is it?
No. But that drop in points did open the door for Ipswich to go back into second.
It's been flying recently.
Yeah, but 3 defeats on the bounce for Leicester have literally destroyed their healthy gap. We were all saying that they were champions at one point. But
look at it.
Game now, isn't it?
Look at how many green and grey there is, and there's only a couple of red from 8. But the reds are from teams you're not expecting: Leicester, Southampton.
It's mad, isn't it?
That was a massive result for Southampton yesterday, and it was a hell of a game, weren't it, at Birmingham?
It was.
Yeah.
4-3.
But, Lewis says West Brom look a proper team. They do indeed. They're starting to pick points up.
Pretty much done.
Yeah.
So they could get back up, which is interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, in that playoff situation, I wouldn't want to pick a team.
No. I do strongly fancy West Brom to get in the playoffs, though. Because I think they're the sort of team that can turn the flare on, but they can also grind results out as well.
I will say what Lodo De Wente said. If Blackburn and Plymouth, I could see them going down. If Blackburn go down, oh my God, they're going to be a massive issue there.
Yeah.
Because financially, they've got owners that are a bit rubbish like ours.
Yeah.
I think it's tough, isn't it? I mean, the Accrington owner, his name escapes me.
Andy Holt.
Andy Holt.
He came out on Twitter with a bit of a rant the other day. We'll move on to Accrington later in the show. But he came out with a rant saying that the Championship's a bit of a zombie league where you've got owners are pumping money into to try and get there, but then they're fighting against the parachute payments of Premier League clubs coming down. It's difficult to kind of maintain it and sustain it. And I think we're seeing that with a lot of clubs now, especially these in and around like you likes of Stoke, Blackburn, teams that you wouldn't expect to be in a relegation battle. They're struggling, and if they do go down,
how many teams?
Fear for them.
How many teams in this bottom half have been in the Prem in the last 20 years?
Probably the majority.
Virtually all of them, apart from Plymouth. Plymouth haven't, Rotherham haven't, but apart from that, every one of them have.
Yeah.
Millwall,
maybe.
Oh no, not Millwall, no.
But the vast majority are ex-Prem teams and probably trying to get back there.
Venky's are nuts.
Okay, moving on to League One. We will fly through League One because I need to be gone around an hour today because my mum and dad are cooking me dinner, which is nice. So we will obviously always point you in the direction of COD's vlogs for League One, a deep dive into that.
Place to start as well, actually, that Fleetwood game.
I think it is.
Oh, what a game! And what a vlog from Nappers.
It's a cracking vlog.
Brilliant
vlog.
It's 8:00. Ben goes into a deep dive in League One. So by all means, head over that way. Fantastic content creator, and he's a very happy content creator after beating Wigan 4-2.
Really well.
Yeah,
they're putting a good fit at this. It's interesting that Adams and Wenty boy as well. What's he called? Ross. Name gone. He used to go Greenwood anyway. For Wenty. They're changing it. They're doing well. They are starting to turn the tide a little bit. They may get it sorted here. They may get this sorted. I need to get back volume misses. They may get it sorted, but this is a cracking win against a very good Wigan team at the minute. I think the fan who went to Fleetwood in style, as you've seen it on Twitter, he hired like a mini bus thing, and it's like a party bus basically. Roth Wallace, that's it. Thank you, Harris. Jonathan, that's the one I couldn't remember. And they're putting a fifth of it. And it doesn't surprise me with the way you look at Adams was as a player. I think he's getting them riled up in the right way this time.
Yeah.
And I think if they can just go about this and just pick up wins each week, they could stay up. But it's going to be one hell of a performance. But this is a good start.
Yeah, it is a good start.
It is, indeed.
And whatever you've got like Jaden Stockley, who scores goals in this league for fun, he did for Charlton. So, they've given themselves a squeak. It's still going to be a massive ask, though.
It is indeed. A game I wanted to touch on was Barnsley beating Wycombe 4-2. Barnsley are on the march, aren't they? Doing very well in this
looking good
in this league. Luckily,
and Devante Cole didn't score.
Who? Connor Grant, who used to be at Donny in Plymouth.
I think it is. Yeah,
that is.
Do I need
you needed the Claxon for Kieran Sadlier as well.
Do I need a call as well?
No,
he didn't score for a change.
ATID is saying it's a different Connor Grant. He's a
okay.
There we go. Oh well, still double Claxon for Kieran Sadlier anyway, because he played Rotherham and Donny.
There you go.
But no, a great performance from Barnsley. Looking like they could sneak into the top two if they continue doing what they're doing. Only 6 defeats all season, 19 wins. One of the form teams in the league at the minute in the last 5. It's impressive for them, isn't it?
Well, I think Pompey have got it in the bag now. I do honestly.
I'm not going to say anything. I really want Pompey to actually do it this time, so I'm not going to actually say a word.
I think they've got it in the bag. Bolton, they picked up a good win yesterday, but they have been on a wobble. They've lost the last 2 before, and that gives teams like Barnsley hope, because Derby won yesterday and they'd lost the last 2 before that. But Vale just look on the floor at the moment, don't they?
Vale look like they've gone through the bottom already.
Yeah.
Darren's got a big job, and if they're giving him a 5-year contract to go try and keep us up, if you can't build from League 2 and go from there, you got the right manager to do so in that sense. But
I feel a bit sorry for Vale because I like their ownership model. Like a family ownership,
The problem is I don't know how much. I said it before we went live. I think Darren should have taken a year out. I think going straight
Possibly.
back in after that season was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you
But
say,
his
he's a
stock,
project manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
his
I think
stock
if they,
was still high though from what happened at Hillsborough last season.
Oh God, yeah.
yeah,
So
but yeah, it's looking like they're facing the drop, and Darren Moore's on a rebuild next season in League Two.
Yeah.
So, like I said before we started League One, head over to Cod's Vlogs for the full League One deep dive. We'll have a quick look at the table before we move on to League Two. Carlisle doomed pretty much to League Two football next season. Like you say, Fleetwood, they've given themselves a chance. There's a couple of teams above them with games in hand. But
Cheltenham are fighting hard.
yeah, but I mean, one defeat in the last 5 for Fleetwood. That's showing fight as well. Possibly give themselves a little bit too much to do. But yeah, Port Vale on 32, Cheltenham on 34, and then there's a bit of a gap up to Shrewsbury on 38. But they'll be nervous, won't
Cheltenham
they?
have got 2 games in hand, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
Cambridge
just
and
say
Charlton
before
will
we
also be worried.
Can I just give a shout out to Reading, because they're nearly mid-table now.
Yeah.
The EFL keeps sticking points deductions on them, and the seats keep winning. So
you know what they keep
I want
doing?
Reading.
You know what Reading keep doing to the EFL? That.
Yeah, exactly. I want Reading to keep winning, because it does stick 2 fingers up to the EFL. Yeah.
I'm actually really enjoying watching Reading just go, oh, you're giving a point deduction. We don't care.
Yeah, that's it. It's got to that point, hasn't it? The top of League One, it's looking like Pompey are going to be a championship team next season, but there's still 10 games to play. It could all go wrong. I hope it doesn't for them. They've had many a season trying.
Is it that one? That one. There we go. I hate them, obviously.
Like you said, Ian, Derby, first win in 3, keeps them in second, Bolton in third, Barnsley in fourth, Peterborough in fifth, and Stevenage make up the playoffs in sixth. If Sue's still in here on the chat, a decent point for Lincoln against Stevenage, who are doing well this season, back in League One.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Moving on to League Two.
I don't want to do this to you, Dan, but I'm going to have to use the klaxon when we talk about your game.
There we go. Go for it.
You knew it would come in. You knew we were going to do it.
It's one of those. I'm not too fussed by the result. Obviously, any defeat hurts. But I think our season is and has been done and dusted for some time. We've just come off of the back of 5 without defeat. I think that's been a really important part of our season to pretty much all but secure League Two football next season, which was the primary goal. Looking at it 3 weeks ago, before we went to Sutton, and I mentioned it earlier in the stream. I think if we'd have failed to get something there, I really think we could have maybe slipped into that relegation battle even more. But we're 12, 13 points away from it now. We've got Colchester coming up midweek. Next week we've got Swindon, Forest Green Rovers.
You said Colchester and I laughed.
Yeah. So we've got some winnable games still coming up. I think 2 more wins and that's us pretty much guaranteed safety this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, on this one, Walsall, the form team in the league, it was always going to be tough. We've had 70% of the possession and we've not done enough with it, really. Not challenged them, not made the keeper work enough. And then obviously Mofal puts salt in the wound on the 80th minute, and it always happens. Your ex-players come back to haunt you. It seems like you flip it the other way, and ex-players never seem to score for us against their former teams. But whenever we get a player coming back to us, or we face a former player, they always end up scoring. One thing that I would say is I found the celebration disrespectful. I think we've given him an opportunity at the start of the season. It was a fan favourite. I don't think he got any stick for leaving. Obviously, there was question marks over the way that it was handled. That he said that he wanted to stay at Donny, and then he got recalled by West Brom, and then ended up at Walsall.
Go on the pitch and knock him out.
I don't know. I don't think it was handled well. The way that he said that he wanted to stay at Donny, we were enjoying it. and then all of a sudden he's gone.
It also sounds like your media team had a bit of a bad day, seeing that he ran over his camera bag with his laptop and his camera in.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's
sorry, Dan, I had to do that after what he did with your nephew the other day.
Neil agrees with me. That's not that one. That one. totally agree. He shouldn't have celebrated at all.
No.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bit over the top with the celebration and a bit disrespectful, but each to their own. There's no loyalty in football anymore, is there? Yeah. So you can't really expect it. I think the one positive from the game was Kyle Hurst's goal. Really well taken. Yeah. But yeah, we dust ourselves down and hopefully go Tuesday night against Bradford. But looking at their pitch yesterday, I don't think you got
a game midweek.
I don't think Bradford will play a home game all season, to be honest, if the weather continues.
It's weird how their pitches just deteriorates that fast.
Yeah.
They used to play on the baseball ground. Worse than that back in the day.
Yeah, but like I said in the chat, I think there's a lot of reason why they don't play like that anymore because they're scared of being
sued. True enough.
Yeah. But yeah, poor day. We move on. I think I'm at that point where I'm just looking forward to next season now. We've got 21 players out of contract, be that contracted players or players that we've got on loan that will be returning to their parent clubs. Yeah. I'd like to see Ada Laken on a permanent from Lincoln, and probably Maxwell offered a contract. The rest can all go for me. They've either underperformed or they've been injury prone. There's possible argument for keeping Wood for his experience. Zane Westbrook.
He can't go on forever. Woody can't go on forever.
And this is it. We could probably get somebody as good on a similar wage that's slightly younger. So for me, I think we're at a stage now where we just need to give Grant McCann as much resource as he needs to build a squad capable of staying out of the treatment room and winning games of football. That's all I want to see next season. Just a fit squad that wins more than we lose.
Again, with your ownership like changing a little bit, at what point do they have to start thinking, yeah, we need to get it right on the pitch, but what point do you think they start looking at more infrastructure? So like better training facilities, better way of dealing with the injuries instead of going it's this and that.
Yeah, and I think they've started putting things in place. We've got the new head of medical, and he seems to be turning things around. As far as I'm aware, he's implementing things that should help. But it's going to take time. It's going to take 12 to 24 months before we really see any sort of return on the stuff that I've heard that he's doing behind the scenes. So we will see. Okay, let's move on because we've only got about 10 minutes before I need to round off. I've seen Jonathan in the chat. Sorry Jonathan. Mate. We've got to go for it. Obviously,
I will say something. Limbs at the end of this was incredible.
The way when they picked the ball boy up,
ball boy, I'm pretty sure he's terrified of doing that again because he looks like he's properly enjoying it until they all start piling in.
yeah. But I think it was a proper derby, wasn't it? Or like a proper rivalry sort of game. And it's unfortunate that one team had to lose. Obviously, we're good friends with Jonathan, who's been an MK fan for all his life. And we were talking about this before we came live. It's a difficult one. I think for me, the way that MK Dons was created, they probably should have started down in the lower leagues and worked their ways up. But I think we're at a stage now where they've been around for so long, they're starting to get a fan base which has only ever known MK. And obviously the passion's there. It's starting to build a little bit. But yeah, this one will hurt. I mean, it's coming to the chat. Nice and simple. We played shite, weren't up for it. Weren't up for the fight, it seemed. So yeah, AFC Wimbledon just wanted it a little bit more on the day, and a very late winner. Feels
you can't say fairer than that, really, can you?
Yeah, that's it. There we go. Any games that you guys want to touch on in League Two?
Yeah, Mansfield winning again.
Yeah.
It just shows you that they scored 14 goals in 2 home games in the last 2 home games against Harrogate and Salford. but it just shows you they can grind results out as well. Although this does seem a bit one-sided, so they get the job done, and that's what promoted sides do. I mean, yeah, it was only 1-0, but it looked like another mini massacre there. They're a very, very good side, Mansfield Town, and they deserve to go up this season.
If they don't go up this season, it's heartbreaking because they've been at it all season.
Yeah, and also they've been in and around it for so many years, and the Radford family who own the club have put so much resources their way. This is the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I was very impressed with him when I went to see him last week.
There's only over one place to go, and that's Accrington Stanley.
Yes, I think we'll finish on those. Just a quick mention on Tranmere beating Sutton 1-0 and Grimsby beating Forest Green 1-0. Two important results for the bottom of the table picture. Obviously, Grimsby fighting for the lives. Forest Green, Sutton are in the bottom two. Tranmere pulled themselves away from it last time I looked. Yeah, well, kind of. Could still get dragged into it. So a vital 3 points for them against Sutton United. But yeah, news coming out of Accrington, obviously.
So before we start this, if people don't know, Coleman was one of the longest serving managers in the EFL pretty much at Accrington Stanley. And this morning it come out that they've let him and his coach go. The way they tweeted it and the way they said it is so disrespectful for a man who's been there, done it all with them, helped them, got them back, got them in, made them a player, but made them basically League One staple for many seasons.
For many years.
League One was just, you've got to go play Accrington Stanley. Okay, fine, I'll go play Accrington Stanley. Yeah. The way they've done this, it just feels so slap in the face. And if you see you look at a lot of the comments on the tweet itself, they're all like, what are you, why are you doing it like that? Why aren't the thank you for your years of service? At this point, we agree we need to go on to a different way. You've been a really good legend with us. You've done what you needed to. We hope you enjoy maybe now your retirement kind of thing. If that's what you do. That's how it should have been. It shouldn't have been the whole thing of going, thank you for the thing. It's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
That don't surprise me.
Yeah, it wasn't a nice read. And that's from somebody who has no affiliation to Accrington, but understands that Coleman's put a lot into the club and probably had Accrington overachieving as a club. They are a community club. They're not big. But like you said, Jake, I think you hit the nail on the head. They were a League One staple for so long. Dropped down to League Two. They're not particularly doing well in League Two, but I don't think it's enough to warrant
at least let him see out the season.
Contracts with immediate effect and being so.
I mean, come on, it's March.
At least let him see out the season.
Yeah, it's March now. Aki aren't going down.
No,
they're not going to go up. So why don't they let? I mean, Coleman and Bell, the manager and his assistant, to me, were Accrington Stanley.
Just see the season out part ways amicably in the summer.
Yeah, definitely.
Simple.
You know what the worry is now, though? What is the kind of situation that they may have a situation next season where they're fighting relegation?
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, Andy Holt's come out and said that they're increasing prices, season ticket prices, everything because they need to through kind of cost of living's hitting them, the rising bills and stuff. Donny have frozen our season ticket prices, which I think should be celebrated. And I think that there may be something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and I think it could be a tough season for Accrington next year, especially now Coleman's not there.
I'm going to keep my gob shut about our season tickets and stuff if you don't know, because
cracking result for Wrexham.
We haven't announced anything yet, because when we get relegated, I don't think Tony Stewart would dare put them up. But you never know.
Yeah, that's it. Let's have a quick look at the table before we do the predictions and round this episode off. So Sutton and Forest Green, 26 and 27 points in 24th and 23rd. we've said it a number of times. I think they're probably giving themselves a little bit too much to do, but they are putting up a fight. There's a couple of wins and draws in there in the last 10 combined, so they are putting up a fight. So I don't think it's game over for Colchester, Grimsby, or possibly Donny at this stage. I'm still erring on the side of caution. We need to get points and be mathematically safe before I breathe a sigh of relief. Salford could get dragged into it, but yeah, I think it's the bottom 5 at the minute. Donny probably just edging on the side of safety, but like I say, erring on the side of caution. A big drop off for Notts County. Obviously, they didn't have a game this weekend with Bradford City's pitch, but yeah, they'll be disappointed with the start of the season that they've had and how they're performing now. But looking at the top, Ian, you've said you'd be surprised if Mansfield don't go up. I will too.
I'll be surprised if they're the best League Two side I've seen this season, and I've seen Stockport as well. I'd be surprised if they don't win the title. I think they'll be disappointed if they don't, especially with the run of form they've been on at the moment. I'll tell you one real surprise were Crewe being 2-0 up against Morecambe and losing. Yeah.
Which has put Morecambe in the race for playoffs as well.
It has really, yeah. I mean, they're having a good season, Morecambe. But another shout out for Gillingham. They've sneaked past Barrow into the last playoff spot.
Yeah. Neil's come in the chat. Watch us with games in hand for the playoffs. Obviously, they've got 33 games. So yeah, 2 or 3 games in hand, which put them on 52 if they win both, which is just outside. So yeah, there's plenty of football to be played and plenty of twists and turns before the end of the season, I'm sure.
100%.
Lovely stuff. Okay, moving on to the predictions for this week. A decent round for everybody.
No, apart from me.
Yeah, most people. I think the lowest score was 2, which was pretty consistent across the board. So yeah, not much change in the table. A couple of movements in the middle, but overall, a fairly solid week, I think, based on some predictions. There's normally a lot of red. Obviously, everybody fancied MK Dons against Wimbledon, apart from Lolo, who went with a 2-0 to Wimbledon. So only one to get a point out of that game. On to this week's. We're missing the midweek out so that people have got an opportunity to get the comments in throughout the week. So, Ian, we're going to start Sheff Wednesday versus Leeds, which is Friday night.
Do you know, Wednesday will put up a fight, especially if they beat Plymouth. But I just think Leeds will be a little bit too strong and probably a little bit too lucky. So I'm going for a 1-0 to Leeds.
No, that's fair result.
I've gone 2-1 to Leeds for similar reasons. Norwich against Rotherham, mate.
4-0. 4-0 to Norwich.
Wow. I've not gone quite as harsh. I've gone 2-0 to Norwich. In League One, we're going Stevenage versus Fleetwood.
Well, Fleetwood are putting up a fight, like we've already said, but Steve Evans have got Stevenage flying. They're in and around the playoffs. Stevenage 3-1.
I've gone 2-1 Stevenage on that one, lads. MK Dons versus Salford.
I saw Salford in the last away game at Mansfield, and they were pretty poor. I think MK Dons comfortably 2-0.
I've matched you on that one, mate. I've gone 2-0 MK Dons. I think they'll bounce back from the defeat against Wimbledon. And finally, the game that we'll both be at, Donny versus Crewe.
Donny, not quite on the beach. They've still got work to do. Crewe, they'll be looking to fight back after that shock defeat against Morecambe. Crewe 1-0.
I've been much harsher on us. I think Crewe will be fighting for obviously getting into the top 3. Like I say, our job's pretty much done, but we've still got work to do. But I think they'll be a bit too strong for us. I've gone 3-1 to Crewe.
Yeah.
Jake, work through them for us, mate. Wednesday versus Leeds.
I'm going 1-1. I just think Leeds will be up for it, but I think it's Yorkshire Derby again. And I think at home, Wednesday are quite decent. So I'm going 1-1. We'll see. I'm worried about it because we could do without that happen, because you know what will happen. We won't win and then everyone else around us will. I think it'll be 3-0 to Norwich. I just don't see any fight from Rotherham. Sorry, Ian.
I agree.
I just don't see it. they've already checked out a lot of those players.
Yeah.
Stevenage, Fleetwood, I'm going to go 2-0 Stevenage. If anyone else, Fleetwood, you probably got a chance, but he got him flying. He got him playing really good stuff. 2-0 NK Dons, and I'll go 1-0 Donny.
Oh, fancy
Nice
us.
one.
Yeah, just because I'm an idiot.
You are. You are indeed. I'd be very surprised if we get anything from that game.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. So that brings us to the end of episode 64 of the 72 review. We'll go around the screen. We'll start with you, Ian. Any final words before we round off, mate?
A much needed therapy session again on a Sunday, but if you hit your head on a brick wall enough times, it starts not to hurt. But I must admit, yesterday did hurt. I think the lack of fight that we showed hurt more than the actual result. But yeah, enjoyed it again, and thanks, guys. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Jake, any final words?
Just look after yourselves. That's all I'm kind of saying. I had a couple of health issues. Lee had a couple of health issues, and mine is one of those ones where it's chronic, so not a lot I can do about it. Look after yourself, make advantage of what you can do, and stuff, and just be kinder to people. And I'm sick of seeing everyone having to go at each other and just blatantly just being knobs. United. Yeah. It's. I always try and end on a positive. It's just try and be nice. You don't know what someone's going through.
That's it, mate. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got demons, and like I say, just be kind, and that's what this show is here for. We say it a lot. It's an open space for fans of every club of the 72 to get involved.
Said it quite well in his press conference. He would want all footballers to not have social media. He'd ban it because people forget that they're human beings at the end of the day, and that's what we've got to remember.
Yeah, that's it. Before I finish off, Neil's just asked for my prediction for Tuesday. Postponed.
What a log. My prediction for Tuesday, you're going to out on towels on the log flumes.
If the game goes ahead, I'm reckoning 2-0 Bradford. But looking at the pitch on Saturday, I'd be very surprised if it does go ahead. But yeah, I'll echo what I'll echo what everybody says. We're here to provide a therapy session on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Football can impact a mood. It can determine my week for certain, and I know the other lads are the same. A good result, I have a good week. A bad result, it's an absolute nightmare. So I think this Sunday stream does make a massive difference to my mood personally, and I hope it does to you guys too. And everyone's welcome. Any fan from any of the 72 are more than welcome to get in the chat, talk to us, and that's it. It's all about football, isn't it?
That's my other half that just put that in.
Bit of mud wrestling live from Bradford. That's what's happening on Tuesday. But yeah, we will be back next Sunday to do it all over again. If you know of anybody who's not come across us yet, get it out there, get it liked, get it shared, and get more people in the chat.
Maybe next season we'll get some stickers made and we can have some stickers with a QR code to the channel or something.
That is a shout. We'll get on it. We'll sort something out, I'm sure. Yeah. But yeah, we hope everybody stays well. We hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, stick a big thumbs up on it. Comments in the section down below. Get your predictions in if you're watching this throughout the week, and I'll get the table updated for next Sunday. Subscribe to Puncture 41, to Over the Bar, to Around the Grounds, and to myself if you haven't already. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.